Today in Math 20-1 we're going to look at solving quadratic equations. This time we're going to look at solving them by using the quadratic equation or the quadratic formula. Now, we've learned three ways so far. First way was by graphing, finding the x-intercepts. The second way was by completing, the third way is by completing the square. The second way was by factoring. Today we're going to use the quadratic equation, which is the following. If we start out with ax squared plus bx plus c, our quadratic equation in standard form, we can find the roots of a quadratic equation by simply using the quadratic formula or the quadratic equation. You're going to see it called both ways. Now, the quadratic formula, when we have ax squared plus bx plus c, we're going to take the negative of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. For example, find the roots of 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 0. A equals 3, b will equal 5, c will equal negative 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put x to equal negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Then we're going to substitute. Negative b is the negative of 5 plus or minus 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 2, all divided by 2 times 3. To simplify, what's under the square root sign first? 5 squared is 25 plus 24 over 6 means we're going to have two solutions. Negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 49 over 6, which is negative 5 plus or minus 7 over 6, which is negative 5 minus 7 over 6, which is negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2, or negative 5 plus 7 over 6, and that will be positive 2 over 6, which is 1/3. So there's two roots to this equation. One of them is negative 2, one of them is 1/3, or 0.33, and that's how we can find it directly, as long as it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now in our second example, 3x squared minus 5x equals negative 9. We have to bring the negative 9 over to the other side so that it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now you can see that a is 3, b is negative 5, and c is 9. So now when we write it, we have to be careful, because when we write our formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, the negative of negative 5 is going to become positive 5. Plus or minus negative 5 squared is 25, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times b, which is 9. Now we're going to have a problem here, because when we simplify what's underneath the square root sign, we're going to end up with a negative number. You're going to get 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 83 over 6. Therefore, that's what those three little dots mean. Therefore, if we have an answer with a negative square root, that tells us that there's no real roots. If we looked at that as a graph, what you're going to notice is that this graph is not going to cross the x-axis. This graph is going to be well above the x-axis, and therefore there's no real roots to find.